Shining over me. Don't you see there's a light, there's a light.
This power. We talk here of being able to wield power rather than to submit to it. This is a powerful moment in time. Amplifying energy.
Did we do it? We did it. Why are you frozen? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
What? What are we?
Oh, you're like froze for me. That was weird.
Oh yeah. No, it's shit's being weird, bro. Am I frozen?
I'm
like slideshowing.
No, you're okay.
I'm okay now.
Wave your hand. Yeah, no, you're good. You're smooth on my side at least. Yeah.
I'm looking at the
Vince has been having weird shit going on today. So
Yeah, I just had like a crazy. What the fuck, dude? I just waved. Dude, there's like a crazy delay on that. Oh, Burn Pineapple said Fable 5. What's up, Graham? How you doing? What's up, Illuminous? Blink twice if you need help. I'm good, bro. I don't need help. I'm okay. The power is being really weird. I'm not sure what's going on. Tony with the fresh cut. Yeah, dude. Are you talking about his haircut? Yeah, he got his haircut yesterday.
it was cut
Tuesday?
yesterday. Yeah, I got a cut on Tuesday.
Yeah, bro. He got trimmed up.
Actually, I don't think we saw Bright's side yesterday, did we?
No, we missed you, bro. Well, I think he came in early and like, tried the first game, but he was busy.
See the shit? The shit costs like $60, and I can't go back to my fucking hair place anymore because they're ripping me off. It looks pretty good, I guess.
Dude, $60 is a lot.
Dude, I was
for a
looking
haircut.
through my like bank statements or whatever because I had a theory, and they've literally doubled it on me over 2 years. Like it used to be $30, and now it's $60, and I was in there for like under 15 minutes. I gotta go somewhere else. Sucks.
Mine went up 10, and then last time I got a haircut, the lady who does my haircuts only charged me 40 instead of like 55, which I was like, I appreciate that. I don't know why the fuck it was 55 or whatever before.
I really hate finding a new hair person, so like
Same.
I've been kind of tolerating it for a while, but it's just I feel like they've increased the price like 3 times in a year. So
Yeah, it's the worst shit.
Yeah.
Omni, are you gonna race tonight or what? What's going on? And Illuminous, are you gonna do it too? Bees wants to come hang out, so he said he was down to catch up and like say hello if you're around tonight.
And if anybody else wants to, drive some sim, hit us up.
Let's see. Yo, Baby Finster posting.
Greg has peanut butter at 6:30.
Yeah.
Pickleball.
No, peanut butter, dude. He's definitely got peanut butter. Not first. Hi, Anna. How you doing? Not too bad. Just finishing up some plugin cleanup before I add our plugin for custom graph solution for dialogue. Hell yeah, Graham. I hope you're staying cool out there. Did you get in the bin? I know. You already told me you're like, I don't have a bin. Like, bro, I got a trash chute. I can't. Like, I live in the city. But I imagine you like hanging out with like a laptop, like in the bin full of water, just like.
I mean, to be fair, that guy looked like he lived like at least near the city.
Dude, that guy was vibing. Like, honestly, I totally understand why he's mad at the dude that was filming him. He's like, it's like, bro, just leave him the fuck alone. Like, he had an umbrella in his drink. You know what I mean? Like, he was chilling. He was making the best of a hot situation. Brightside said, Brightside's talking about Fable because Pineapple said Fable 5.
I don't think Fable's worth it unless you're like, I don't know. Definitely anybody here, myself included, like you're going to be just fine with Opus, and it's going to get you a lot farther, and it's probably not going to be that different of an outcome based on a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing right now. But I don't know. Some people are making some crazy shit with it.
Oh, fuck yeah, Ellie. You're going to be there? Cool. Hello, everybody. Doing good? Glad to hear that, Anna. I don't know, like, I liked your wood burning art. After looking at it, the picture that you sent, I was like, I'm pretty sure I would fuck that up real bad. So,
dude, I was thinking about it, and I have my Cricut, and we could use it, and you could make like a stencil.
That would be sick.
Paint over it or something, maybe. Yeah.
Not trying anything on Fable yet since it's been back. Anyone got anything? Get anything good before the government takes it down? What was the thing like? Solve all your medical problems. Something like talk to God, and you have like 3 days.
I sent it to Burt Pineapple. Let me find it.
Yeah.
You have 1 week to exploit the ultra mega dangerous super intelligence to solve all your health problems, win friends, influence people, make money, and find God for a mere $20. Make no mistakes.
Make no mistakes is the best part about that tweet.
And it's because all paid plans with usage included can access Fable 5 through July 7th on Claude. You can use Fable 5 for up to 50% of your weekly usage limit, after which you can switch to another model for the remainder of your usage. And then you can also continue using Fable for credits, of course. So.
Graham says the most preposterous part about that statement is me working on a laptop. I mean, I was trying to figure out logistically how you would be. I guess you'd be inside in the bin. The guy in the bin was outside, like in his front yard. So I imagine I guess if you bring the bin inside, bro, you can be at your like workstation or whatever and just climb in there. That could work. I don't know if you guys have them as readily available in UK as we do here in the US, but like they sell these huge animal feed things. It's hard to explain. It's like a big metal, you know, it looks like a bucket kind of, but it's like long, it's rectangular, and it's like perfect size for a person. You fill that shit up with water, you could just kick back in there. It's like a bathtub, but they're meant for like you know, if you got a bunch of cows or sheep or something, you just throw a bunch of grain in there and they eat out of that. But yeah, that would be perfect.
Oh, dude, I gotta send you this video I saw, I think on Twitter, of a guy had got one of the round cow trough things, probably,
Yeah.
I don't know, call it like 8 feet diameter. And he has it set up with like a deck kind of around one side, and he's trying to skate.
Oh, he's skating. I saw that.
Around the whole thing, and yeah, it's really cool.
It's like a year of his attempts, and then he
Yep.
finally hits it. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Create Ultron. Tell Fable to create Fable 6 just for me. Wait, what? What are you talking about, Pineapple? Temperature is actually reasonable again now, which is why I'm doing real work. Nice, Graham. Glad to hear that.
It's a little unreasonable here still, unfortunately, but
Yeah, it's warm right now.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, we got wildfires. It's hazy. Dude, did I tell you those wildfires were in Rifle?
No.
So they're south. They're like really far south. So
I know there's one by
pretty
Pueblo and there's one
Yeah.
by Ure.
Yep. Sweet. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We got some video games. We're gonna talk about video games today because I talked about a bunch of nonsense yesterday for too long. Let's see. We hit the Dead or Alive 6 thing. That was really weird. Illuminous was telling us about his experience. He said he bought that pack and it had like 80 DLCs, but every single one you went to go redeem, if it was like a single skin for a single character, you had to log into like this proprietary thing, say like, yes, I accept this, then do like the download and then restart your game so it applied the thing. And he was like, I did 3 of them and then just uninstalled the game and never played it. Which I don't blame him, because it's if you got to go through that like 80 times, like what's the fucking point?
I just heard a noise. I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah, no worries. We could talk about some SKG stuff, gang. So I thought this was really interesting. There was a U.S. bill that was being sponsored by, I think, House of Representatives people in California. And they were going to send it to, so the way it works in the U.S. is like House of Representatives will like make a law and, you know, or a proposal for a law, and then they send it over to the Senate. The Senate reviews it and either approves it or strikes it down or adds language to it. Then they send it over to like the governor, or, you know, at the federal level, it's just a mirror of the same thing as state level. Then they'll send it up to another official who has the power to approve or veto that law, and then it goes into effect. So the SKG stuff here was a U.S. bill designed to stop paid games being terminated and being made unplayable in the future has failed to pass the Senate vote. It's called the Protect Our Games Act, which was proposed by California Assemblyman Chris Ward. It's weird that they say Assemblyman because I don't think that's the language we use here. It would be like a congressman. But it was put to a vote by the California State Assembly. Oh, maybe. Okay, so this is like state government, not federal government. So it didn't even get out of the state legislature in California. Next up was pass the bill to the Senate. I just explained that. The bill lost the vote at the Senate. Okay, it had to get a majority of votes. It was an abstention, which means that it wasn't, you know, neutral, but not fully majority no, but it wasn't enough to pass to the next step. This is our first attempt in our first year in the United States with a budget of $0. Okay, so they're saying that the reason why this didn't pass is because nobody was lobbying and spending money. That's crazy. The timeline was so compressed that we could not get funding in place fast enough to put people in the building. What are you even talking about? They also accused the Entertainment Software Association of lobbying senators with claims that range from misleading to flatly false, including a claim that running a private server similar to those run for games like Minecraft would be illegal. Isn't that something that European government found? Was like Minecraft was illegal to run your own server on? I feel like you sent me a link about that, Tony.
No, that was. I thought that was here. Yeah, it's like it's just kind of in like the same situation.
Oh, here we go. I got this other one. I'm going to pull this one up because it's adjacent to this. The ESA clarifies views on private servers after saying Minecraft servers are illegal and considered piracy. Okay, U.S. Trade Association says they're referring to private servers, not community servers. ESA has given its detailed stance on the use of private servers and games. Protect Our Games Act. Okay, this is adjacent to the same thing. Interesting. So they wrote a couple stories, but like two different parts of the same issue. Let's see. Brought in a Reddit post summarizing the decision, a campaigner for consumer movements SKG said that ESA brought in high-paid DC-based lobbyist Jennifer Gibbons, ESA Vice President of State Government Affairs, who worked the offices with claims that range from misleading to flatly false. Okay, so this is more information about that specific part of the previous article I read. Okay. Minecraft is currently hosted by community servers. Call of Duty has community servers, so it's an option that it's out there in existence here today. They're illegal, said Gibbons, and if they're not in any way affiliated with Microsoft. Microsoft for Minecraft has gotten a lot of criticism because those community servers are not employing the same safety standards that Microsoft does on their Minecraft servers. And so this is the problem, guys. I was talking about the good intentions of SKG and why it would become a problem. Legislators aren't playing video games. They don't understand what any of this shit is. This person who's the lobbyist, who's, I guess, trying to argue against the SKG bill, is explaining it to a group of other legislators and not being correct. The other legislators don't even understand what the fuck they're talking about in the first place. We do not want this. Like, this is a bad thing. I know that people think SKG is a good idea. It's just, I don't think it's going to work either, because we had a huge lawsuit about software licensing back in the 80s with DOS and Windows. So Bill Gates won that, and that's why we have software licenses as like a norm now. So because those are a norm, Tony, you got a link showing on the thing?
I know, I'm trying to find one that isn't stupid, but yeah.
No, do your thing.
Yep.
So this is the problem. These people don't understand what the issue even is in the first place. And there's a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of ambiguity about the SKG movement and what they're trying to accomplish in their own statements and their own messaging. So there are people who don't understand how the games and software entertainment industry works, saying this isn't fair and consumers aren't protected, but they don't really know how to use strong language that is very clear, which is how laws work. You can't really have ambiguity in laws. And so then when they go to review this issue as legislators, they don't even understand what the issue is in the first place. And so they're depending on a lobbyist who may or may not provide correct information. So let me read some of the things that you guys were saying here. Burnt Pineapple, don't ask us about legal stuff, bro. We're not gonna know. If you really want to know, you could probably ask like the sheriff's department in where you live, just so you don't do anything dangerous. But at the same time, you're kind of self-reporting. So I don't know, man. Same protected the Game Act that is running through Europe. Yeah, exactly, Anna. And I think that one lost as well. Didn't they say community servers like Minecraft were illegal and considered pirating? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, is that this lobbyist claimed that they were illegal. The committee member was like, so it's like a black market of video games? And she's like, yeah, of course it is. In fact, we consider it piracy, because she's representing Microsoft, obviously, in this specific context.
I saw this tweet about how you should go in your Steam library and go to search and type server and see how many illegal softwares that you own, because oftentimes your game is going to come with like a server exe and you probably will never see it. But like, here's my Steam library. I know this list is very tiny, but you can see there's like probably over 100 here. Just come with literally every game you buy.
So my favorite comment about this is Brightside saying, this whole time I thought this was an initiative to stop killing games, like violence in games, like GTA and Mortal Shell. Get the killing out of games. That's what I always say. Dude, you're awesome, Brightside. Yes, there's a paid anti-SKG lobbyist at both the EU and legislature offices who are killing this whole thing out of the gate. It's dumb. I doubt it's that serious. I broke my RC cars anyway. I can only use the fireworks tanks. That's funny, dude. SKG is basically saying servers should not be required for a game to function, and when a game's servers go down, that the core content of a game remains playable. Makes sense on paper, but their approach to getting a bill written is sloppy and overreaching. Exactly, Adder. Yeah.
What was the thing we were reading the other day about how it was like, there was a statement about how a game can remain playable with like 99% of its code missing or something like that.
Yeah. So the specific language that SKG used to, and I should say, it's not SKG. It's the guy who started it. It's like Scott Ross or something like that. I can't remember his name.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a YouTuber. He does like video game stuff sometimes, but it's not really his main stuff. So he just kind of started the whole movement. But he was saying, to clarify on one of the points in what is reasonably playable, he made the statement of, I think in some cases that could mean like the 2% of logic that allows a game to be played by a single player. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Such a weird statement. Yeah.
It tells me like you don't know what you're actually even trying to advocate for. You can't clarify your own points of argument. So like, that's why I'm saying it has good intentions. I totally understand why people would want that. It feels really bad to buy a game. Like, imagine you bought Concord. You would feel ripped off. That's why they issued refunds. But imagine you bought a game like Concord that lasted 3 months and they couldn't reasonably issue a refund for that because it was live for a long amount of time, right? Like, that's an arbitrary number. There could be a cutoff of 6 months. Who knows? There's no official law about any of that. The point that I'm making is it would feel bad as a consumer. You'd be like, dude, I paid for this and now I can't even use it. Like, what the fuck? It feels like you got swindled. So I've told you guys many times, my stance is just don't buy games as a service, or just be aware that's the risk you're taking. Like, I get it. And, you know, like you want something sounds cool and it seems like it's fun and you want to engage with it and it feels bad to get tricked. That's why I personally don't buy early access games anymore. There was this game called Starbound that I bought in early access, and it went like 3 years with like very minimal updates. And I was like, dude, I paid like $45 for this game, and there's like nothing in it. And I was like, this seems like a scam, you know? It wasn't really a scam. They did continue to develop the game. It just took a very long time, and they shouldn't have done the early access when they did. So I made it a personal policy to be very careful about when I purchase any early access stuff. And as a general rule, I don't do pre-orders and I don't do early access. Like, there are exceptions, but that's kind of the policy I follow. And I remember just in the early days, you know, the late 90s, early 2000s, up to the 2010s, that's when, you know, before this really started, and I would get into pre-orders to get pre-order bonuses and all that other stuff. But it's a different landscape now. So I think it's just, it's not working out too well, so I would just avoid it. The dude is the one I mentioned earlier who said that US and EU shooting down SKG should be understood that piracy will now be a focus by archival efforts with not much other content to his statement. That's a crazy statement. Yeah, imagine pre-purchasing Star Citizen FPS mode for $120. Exactly. Don't do that. It's not a good idea. Pineapple says, I have a whole category on Steam I've named Wish I Refunded, but I've had it too long or played like 3.5 hours. Dude, that feels bad. Yeah, just don't, like, here's the thing, Pineapple. Do a little more research. Like, look at the game a little bit more. Or just, you know, buy something that's bigger budget. You know, that you're like, the chances of this falling apart are pretty low. I say that after using Concord as an example. That's a huge budget, and it was DOA. So not Dead or Alive, Dead on Arrival. Brightside asks, are studios like yours talking about this kind of stuff at all? Like, are you guys getting gearing up for a switch if legislation like that was to get passed? Brightside, I think just this is my personal take, and Adder, feel free to answer for yourself if you want to or not. My personal take is that I think people in the industry aren't even remotely worried about it because there's no shot that this is going to pass. The verbiage is way too ambiguous, just like Adder said. It makes sense on paper, but their approach to getting a bill written is sloppy and overreaching. So they're not being specific about what exactly they're asking for. And that's why legislators are like easily dissuaded from it. They're just like, dude, this doesn't make any sense. I don't even understand what this problem is. I don't know how this is going to work. So I think the majority of people inside the industry at a high level are probably like, should we worry about this? No, it's not really a thing right now. Back in my day, you could buy a Halo beta and get a free Crackdown. Dude, that was great. Or you could get Fusion Frenzy for free with Halo.
Fix your mic cable.
No!
Oh, wait, it might be back before you fuck with it.
Is it back?
Keep talking.
I'm talking.
You're okay for now. Don't fuck with it.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's been... the electrics in my house have been really weird today, guys. I don't know what's going on. They are like $5 games though. One of them is Arc Raiders. I mean, Pineapple, but if you have a whole folder, bro, that adds up. Like, look at how much money you've spent on $5 games that you regret, and that could turn into like a Raspberry Pi or something, you know? Because like you like messing around with a bunch of different shit. Just don't blow your money on cheap things in large quantity, right? $10. It's the government. What do you mean it's the government? Adder is agreeing with me. I love to hear that. We make offline games, but we discussed making sure that we have offline modes if we have online features and future products. Yes, exactly. That's the thing. I think, I guess Brightside, that's probably a better answer. I think if anything, the movement and like the public voice about how they don't want these things is literally just going to lean over towards like studios that are experiencing massive losses by making service games are going to be like, okay, one, the market is revolting about it, and two, look at all of these like hundreds of millions investments in these things that took 6 or 7, sometimes 8 years to make that were just complete losses. So I think the industry is just self-correcting around that. Think about a lot of the stuff that was announced recently, some of these, Summer Games Fest and shit like that. A lot of them are not live service. A lot of them are like single player games. That's what we need to course correct. Granted, they're not great single player games. They're all derivative of something else, with some rare exceptions. Like I think Mortal Shell 2 is really fucking cool and special. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. What's up, Queen Anne? How you doing? Are you staying cool? Yeah, we're talking about SKG because it looks like the bills that they were trying to get through EU legislation and US legislation both died. Fusion Frenzy. Use them to make a pie hole. What's a pie hole, bro? On Redfall, we were pretty self-aware that the sales were not going to be great and that the servers would not always exist. So we made sure the game was playable offline, despite Microsoft not allowing us to add the offline mode until the shutdown of Arcane happened. Dude, isn't Arcane like completely toast now? I feel like there was an article I linked here as well.
Are they the ones making the Blade game? Or not anymore?
Yeah. Fuck, where was this? There it is. Okay. Xbox set to close Dishonored and Blade Studio Arcane in cuts, it's claimed. So yeah, there's a public rumor now, Adder, that like Arcane's gonna get shut down. They're facing closure if a buyer is not found. That feels bad, dude. Arcane France is up for sale, but it might get shut down. Oh, I see. It would be a massive shame if they shut down Arcane Lyon. The first developers at risk of being shut down were named by Bloomberg as Compulsion Games, Double Fine, and Ninja Theory, with Undead Labs later reported to be a target for closure. Yeah, I mean, Xbox brand's looking real bad for gaming. It's, you know, we've been talking about this for a couple weeks, and it, you know, I don't think you guys are even surprised that we're right. You know, like, common sense is that it's not going to go well, and it's gonna be sad for Microsoft to kind of step out of the space. It's less healthy for the industry. More competition is always better. Hey, what's up, Gil? Thank you for chatting over on YouTube. How you doing, bro? Find a way to buy out or be shut down. Yeah, exactly, Anna. It's not limited to oh, the pie hole. I see what you're saying. I got it. Not limited to Raspberry Pi. You can host it on like mini PCs and stuff. Bethesda, Todd Howard himself, that Arcane wasn't canceling Blade. Then Microsoft, I think, saw that statement, already had plans to, and then shutting down the studio might be the least messy forward move as they shift to fast development projects. Yeah, that's what we were talking about, Queen Anne. The bill verbiage is really tough. And that's the problem. Adder put it a really good way, saying, let me go find what he said exactly. It makes sense on paper, but their approach to getting a bill written is sloppy and overreaching. Yeah, they're not really sure how to make, you know, the clear statements that they need to make to pass a law, because you just can't leave laws open-ended and have it to be interpreted by judges in the courts. It's never going to get through and approved, at least in this country. The Microsoft bloodbath, that's what they're calling it in the press. Yeah, exactly, Anna. I mean, we were calling it a bloodbath too, you know, over the last couple weeks. Arcane's an easy cut from an executive perspective, as they're a 3+ year dev cycle studio. That's too long in today's, you know, landscape, especially for AAA. 3 years, over 3 years is too long. 3 years is kind of the magic target, because you can still sort of have, you know, I guess this is the difficult part. You can still be somewhat culturally relevant to something that was inspired 3 years ago, but that might not be the case anymore with how rapidly culture changes with social media. Dude, those glitter balls are sick as fuck.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go glitter ball for the next one.
Yes, dude. I'm worried for Double Fine, dude. Yeah, me too, honestly. I was never, so Queen Anne, I'm not like a huge Double Fine games fan, but I recognize what they've done to advance the art form. And, like, you know, while I never played Psychonauts, I've definitely known people who love Psychonauts and talked to them about it, what made it good, all this other stuff. So I'm, like, very familiar with it, and they did really cool stuff. And it's sad to see them in trouble because their parent company is making mistakes, you know? So I hope Double Fine can make it out, at least. It's just tough, man. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. They seem to be late to the draw. Microsoft cuts? Yeah. Also, Arcane Lyon has their own in-house engine based on id Tech and pushed back on UE5 switch. They made Deathloop on Void Editor. Oh, no. So we might lose, like, a special piece of technology in the industry. Oh, dude, that sucks. Yeah, so Queen Anne, you're a Double Fine fan. So you understand. You're all about the Psychonauts. That's very cool. I think I have a Psychonauts deck of playing cards that I got at PAX, which is kind of cool. It has, like, all the characters as, like, you know, the face cards and shit. I have it somewhere. It's like a collector's item. Psychonauts had some amazing and truly innovative level design. Exactly, Gil. That's what I know about it. Switch to Twitch. Just opened Steamworks account today. Scary. No, dude, Steamworks is great, Gil. That's a huge step. Congrats, man. Yeah, for sure. They did a lot of publishing, too, back in the day. Yep, absolutely. Anna says, I really enjoyed We Happy Few by Compulsion Games, and South of Midnight looks very interesting. I haven't seen a lot of positive reception for South of Midnight personally, but I don't know. You know, if it looks compelling to you, check it out. I think they need support. I don't think it's doing super well. Void is pretty cool. It's super efficient, and my weather lighting tools are notably better than UE5. But Arcane Lyon needs to stop dragging their feet on dev cycle times. Yeah. Deathloop was 5 years. That's too long for Deathloop, dude. I mean,
I
you
don't
know
think that game sold enough to justify 5 years from what.
No, there's
I know.
no way. If they did their financial planning well, hopefully the cost wasn't super bad. It broke.
Shit, they made
even.
Dishonored 2 faster than that.
Oh, okay. There you go, Anna. Queen Anne likes South at Midnight. I think you guys probably have similar video game taste, so you might enjoy it. If Queen Anne's vouching, then yeah, check it out. You love stop motion? I do too. But it's hard for me to play a game strictly for that. Like, it's a visual spectacle. Like, when I pick a game, it's got to be mechanics. I think I've told you guys about my feelings about Mugenics. Really good tactics game. Very gross, terrible aesthetic. I don't like I literally play the game on mute because I can't stand the audio design. I just kind of try to pretend that it's not as gross as it is. I put on like the cat breeding sensor mode because I think it's weird and gross and I don't want to see the animations for that, but that's just me. So anyway, the point that I'm making is that I will pick a game to play and spend my time on. Yeah, thank you, Queen Anne. Dude, the fucking songs drive me crazy. Like, they really drive me crazy. I can't stand that shit. They're all earworms, and they're this, like, weird Quirk Chungus jazz about cats. I just can't fuck with it. All right, I gotta add some lore to my Minecraft server. Be right back. All right, good luck, dude. Deathloop was 5 years, dude. All the Dishonored games and DLCs broke even, almost on the dot. Honestly, like, I didn't understand that either, Adder. I know people loved Dishonored. I just didn't. It was like, I looked at it going like, I don't see the appeal. So maybe I'm not alone in that.
Oh, dude. Dishonored 1 probably is in my top 10.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. 100%. No question.
Yeah, tell us why. Tell us why you like it.
It's just like... I think it's a game that nailed like immersive sim in terms of like what that definition actually means, and it's
like
a game
you
that
felt like the psychic clockwork bandit guy or whatever.
it's more just like your actions felt like they actually caused different things to happen, and there was like a lot of like really interconnected like cool shit that you could do. And it's definitely a game that I played through like at least 3 times to see like all of the different outcomes, because there's kind of like a good, bad, and neutral type situation you could go through, and every level has like probably like at least 5 different like main paths, as well as like a bunch of different other creative ways that you could solve it. And if you play like good, you can't kill anybody, and so that really changes your play style. And if you play evil, you obviously kill everybody. And I want to say it kind of ends up like KOTOR, where like the evil guy has very different abilities than the good guy, and like drastically influence your play style. And just I could go on and on and on, and just like in terms of like atmosphere and like story and all of that, like I think across the board super good. Like, I don't know, I really liked it. I played it at like a time where like it really hit. I don't know, I've tried to play Dishonored 2, just could never even like get 2 hours into it. I was bored, so I don't know.
Interesting. All right, so you say the first one's really good, but the second one is probably just
a lot of people say the second one is really good, and I know the second one has this like clockwork mansion thing that I've seen a lot of like game design discussion about. That I've played the game just to try to like see it in person, because it is kind of fucking insane. It's like this house that like is moving and changing around you like in real time while you're in the level and stuff. And
I've seen that shit. That looks really cool.
It's fucking crazy. And I think like the second game is supposed to be really good. I just like, I don't know, like playing a game like that, like kind of story heavy, whatever, especially these days for me, is just like hard pass. I don't know.
Let's see. Yeah, the days before Telltale, any game where none of your decisions had any impact. I think that there were a lot of games back in the day that were well wrought that had that, where like your player decision making had an impact. I mean, you could just say Mass Effect, like that trilogy. I know people like to argue about whether or not it actually mattered, but there were moments in Mass Effect where like now your journey is fundamentally different from another player who chose differently.
You would do stuff in like Dishonored in the first level, and then like in like the 13th level, that decision would come back and have like a massive consequence on how it was going to go, and if it was going to be like way harder than it could be or something like that. And I don't know, it's pretty interesting.
I mean, Adder, I've actually heard that a lot, and I I don't know, dude. I should like really just check it out.
They're definitely not bad, and it's like, you know, a fun FPS to play. You're like you can teleport, and like I don't know, it's fucking awesome. It's very cool. I really like it.
Queen Anne was talking about the Mugenics music. They're a relic of another time, but they would have been cringe then too. I think so. This is the qualifier I want to throw out there about the Mugenics audio design. It's very well done. It's really well done. The artistic choices are the problem that I have. It's just stuff that I just don't like. I'm like, this is very unappealing to me. I don't want any of this silly, weird poop joke stuff. It's Ed McMillan, you know? So he's going to do weird shit. If you've played Binding of Isaac or you're familiar with it, also gross and very weird. But it's a really well-made game. So yeah, I played a ton of Eugenics. The Ans are talking about being a fan of, let me see. I want to read Anna's message here. Female protagonist games for a few years. That's why you're into South of Midnight. Hell yeah, dude. Check it out. I mean, Queen Anne's vouching, saying it's great. So get in there. You have a whole game with female categories on GOG. That's awesome, dude. Like that's really what entertainment is about. Like, play the thing that you're into, you know. I don't want to get into the discussion, but that's why I'm saying I like Kojima stuff, because it appeals to me, right? You know, it's not any deeper than that. I think it's interesting, but I would understand exactly why you don't like it, you know. So I got to get on GOG more often. I'm on Steam too much. I don't really mess with GOG, guys. I think there was like a CDPR game I got on GOG because it was only available there for a minute, or maybe it was like super cheap. It might have been Witcher. I don't even remember, honestly. But I think I've only bought one game off of GOG. I don't like Kojima stuff all that much, but that's also okay. Yeah, exactly. I know Kojima's a very divisive artist. Like, I totally understand that. There are plenty of people who just hate everything he does, and there are plenty of people who like think he's a genius and can make no mistakes. I'm not either of those. I'm somewhere in the middle. I just like stuff that's fun and interesting to me, right? Queen Anne, you have many hours in Isaac. So this is weird, but I don't like playing Isaac. But back in the day when I watched a lot of streams, I watched people who streamed Isaac, because this is like early days of Twitch, and Isaac was one of the categories that blew up really early. So like I watched Lethal Frag play Isaac often. I just really liked that guy's content. It was very cozy and like, I don't know, he was a positive guy. I really liked Lethal Frag. If anything, he might be the only, I don't even know if I sub to him anymore, but he's probably one of the only streamers that I ever subbed to. I don't have as many games on GOG as on Steam, but I'm there pretty often. I respect his love of the game. Yeah, same matter. Like, even though he's got a weird vision and he's doing his own thing, that's what I like about it. It's different and interesting to me, you know? Admittedly, I have not yet beaten Death Stranding 2. I'm very close to the end, but I do have to say the gameplay gets a little tiresome. It's super interesting. I like it. But there's a part of me that just gets really bored of like building shit and running around in the landscape. So I need to go back and finish it, because I know I'm gonna have these really cool pivotal moments with Higgs and like all the other stuff that happens. I'm trying not to be spoilery, but yeah, there's cool things. I like the way he executes the story. It's different. Blue ending changed my life. I don't know what you're talking about, AAA.
I think that's Dishonored.
Word? That's how I feel about most of his games. They aren't as mechanics focused as I prefer. I'm not a big narrative guy. Yeah, so for me, the weirdest thing that I didn't expect was, you know, this is always irritating to me, because I say, like, I discovered that I enjoy Kojima's stuff when I played MGS5, and a lot of people who are Kojima fans hate MGS5, and they're like, this sucks. You played the worst one. You got to play 2. And I'm like, I'm not going to. I just don't want to, guys. Like, just leave me alone about it. But I had a really good time with MGS5. It was like, it was the right time and right place for me. I was just vibing, you know, doing the thing, like playing the game the way I wanted. And I really enjoyed it. I don't know why. It was just, maybe it was a place and time type of a deal where it was the right game for me at the right time. Same with Death Stranding. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm looking very, very forward to Mortal Shell 2. It's like the only game that I'm really looking forward to right now, and I'm excited to get in there, play a ton of it. So hopefully we get a release date soon, and yeah, I'm glad you guys are also excited about Mortal Shell 2. It'll be fun to talk about and share our stories about what our playthroughs were like. Okay, so we were talking about studio shutdowns and the grim landscape of the games industry now. We were talking about SKG and how SKG was missing because of their approach. Okay, so this is also adjacent to the subject matter that we're discussing. This is an article from PC Gamer. This is from June 29th, so like last week. Sony Games boss says company will bravely keep sending live services over the top, despite canceling 8 of the 12 that they planned for 2025 and wiping out most of Destiny 2's developers. Like, how many times have I said, like, this dude is making weird fucking decisions for Sony? It's crazy that he's like, no, live services are the way. We're going to keep doing this. And I'm like, bro, you need to get your fucking house right first. Bravely, not the word I'd use. Yo, same, Queen Anne. I love Dishonored 2 and Death of the Outsider, but then I'm a Billy Dowd enjoyer. I don't know what that means specifically, Anna, but that's cool. Is DH2 Dishonored 2 in this context? And what's Death of the Outsider? And I don't know Billy/Dowd. Mass Effect is what AAA was saying. He wasn't talking about Dishonored.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you're talking about the Mass Effect 3, and you had red, blue, or neutral ending, I think is what it was, and you had to do like special things to do the neutral ending. Yeah, I literally don't even remember because it was so long ago. I just remember that I had fun playing the series. I liked it. It was very cool. I like the visuals. I like the combat. Even in all 3 games, they were vastly different. I didn't really get into the whole like relationship with your traveling companions aspect of the game. I don't care about that as much. I like just exploring the galaxy in the Normandy. That was cool as fuck to me. Like that's what I liked. Billy's the protagonist in Death of the Outsider, which is a universe of is that Dishonored? Is that what DH is? Anna? I'm sorry. I'm ignorant. I don't know these things specifically. Does that make sense, Tony? Is it Billy the protagonist in Death of the Outsider in the universe of Dishonored?
I'm not familiar, but
she's saying yeah.
After the first game, I've been a little uninvolved.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's sweet. All right, so you guys in chat are all vouching for Dishonored. Tony's vouching for Dishonored. I guess I just need to play it. Yeah.
It's not very long. You can like literally beat the entire thing twice in probably like 10 hours.
Oh, really? Okay.
If you're like
jamming
it, and you're like having a good time, it is not very long. Yeah.
I did start playing, I know like Turning Cog, like one of his favorite games is Pacific Drive, and I started playing that. I didn't get very far into it. I did like the tutorial stuff, and then I was like, is this the shape of the game? And then I Googled to see if there was any combat in the game, and it was like there's no combat, and I was like, I don't know if I want to keep playing it. I do want to check more stuff out and see kind of where it's going, but I don't know if Pacific Drive is for me.
I feel like I gave it like a pretty fair shake and ultimately kind of came to the conclusion that I did not want to keep playing it. So like I played it for like 8+ hours probably, and like didn't really feel like I was going to experience too much else other than the story, which I wasn't really that excited about in the first place. So
Luminous,
like I said, like the vibes in the first like I don't know 20 minutes, so well
good.
done. I just wish the rest of the game was like that.
Okay, word. Oh, you're talking about
not Pacific Drive.
Yeah. No, I agree. I thought the vibes were really well done. What I was into was it was kind of like Stalker. And I was like, this is gonna be fucking sweet. And then there's just no combat, and I was like, I don't know. And then as I was reading about the developers, they were like very proud of that, and they're like, we wanted to make a non-violent game. There's no combat, and I'm like, well, fuck, that's probably not for me.
I think we should try to play Into the Radius again. I hear they've mostly fixed it.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we have like 9 million more hours of sim racing that we got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Illumina says, "Don't sleep on Prey." How do you guys feel about Prey?
Yeah,
you're not into Prey.
I've tried Prey, yeah, like probably at least twice, and just kind of been like, no, I don't think I want to play this.
Thank you, Anna. I really appreciate it. Thank you for indulging my my lack of information. I really appreciate that. You know, you're here and you have a very different perspective, and like, yeah, and you're kind to me about it. I appreciate that. Death of the Outsider is a side story continuation in the world of Dishonored. Not exactly Dishonored 3, but bigger than a DLC. Almost like Blood and Wine for The Witcher, but with NPCs from the first 2 stories as the protagonists. Very cool. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to know because like I got to play the first game and then I'll kind of understand if that's like, you know, if that's my shit. Yeah, cool. Okay, so this PC Gamer thing, I want to read you guys a little more of what exactly this dude was saying. They're just kind of like doubling down on some stuff. Okay, recent Famitsu interview with Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO and President Hideaki Nishino? I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry. Or her name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Who told the site the following quote is machine translated. We believe that live service games are content that attracts users on a global level. So we want to continue to revitalize the market through both first-party and third-party content. We're not only focusing on promoting new releases, but also considering that what we can do with older titles in the medium to long term. Nishino continues, when asked if Sony plans to continue with its live service ambitions, that's right. With live service games, it's important to continuously provide something. The genre itself is relatively new, and I think many people are trying various things. So we also want to continue to take on challenges within that context. I'm not so sure about relatively new there. Fortnite's Battle Royale mode came out in 2017. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Whatever, PC Gamer editorializing. It's also a little counter to the words of Sony's CFO, Lin Tao, last year, who said, it's not entirely going smoothly. Mind the conclusion that she reached was that they simply weren't making live service games good enough. I think that's true. I really think that's true. So I think Lin Tao is at least aware that they're fucking up and how they're fucking up instead of, you know, being delusional about it. We should learn lessons from mistakes and make sure that we introduce live service content where there's less waste and it's more smooth. That sounds great. She also said Destiny 2 was a sign that live service games were still occasionally winners, which has not aged well. That's bullshit. Stop that, PC Gamer. As much as, you know, I've been kind of in the middle here with my feelings about Destiny, like, I think it's inarguable that Destiny was a very successful IP. Abso-fucking-lutely it was. So I think she's fine saying that. They're talking about memes here. I want to ignore that. Okay, cool. So yeah, we kind of get the gist. It's some Sony Interactive Entertainment leadership is saying live service games are still something we're looking at. We did a bad job at it, but we're going to try harder because they are valuable. People do want to engage with them. I just hope they start making better choices about it. Let's see. 2017 Prey is another incredible showcase of mechanic design and narrative, but it's a different game than Dishonored. Closer to a Valve game in feel and pacing. It was heavily influenced by Half-Life 2. That's what I've heard, Adder, for sure. Queen Anne says, I think there's this problem with video game endings. Studios can have this mentality that fewer players see the ending than the start, so invest more into the start than the ending, which is valid, but to me, a bad ending is going to tank your review score more than anything. I agree with you, Queen Anne, but I mean, I think your perspective, you know, probably shared with mine, is that we're gamers, you know, like we really, really care about games. So I do think it's fair to say that studios invest in the beginning. You know, having shipped a bunch of games at, you know, various levels of funding and all that, the beginning is so fucking important. You have to spend a lot of time and effort on that. And when you're closing a project, you know, budget and time, ending can suffer. And it often falls that way. It's not that there's like a desire to make the ending bad. It's that it's imperative for the success of the business to make the beginning good so that your game sells. You have to do that. And I think the rare circumstance where we see the whole thing is great is with like Expedition 33. You know, they had some luxury of like being able to really do their own thing. They weren't necessarily under the same constraints as a AAA studio, so that's why they got to make an opus. You know, something really, really good.
It definitely reminds me of the like existential crisis that I had from Armored Core. That was like, I don't think like 90% of players will ever see the things that they did, you know, past the halfway point of the first playthrough of this game. And it's kind of an injustice to how amazing it is, but like they still did it. They put their fucking all in all the way through that game. And it shows. It's really awesome.
You're talking about
like,
Ibis,
it fucks
right?
me up really bad.
You're talking about Ibis. Ibis is definitely.
I'm just
a
talking
wall.
about the entire story. Like you have to play through the game
yeah.
3 times to know everything and to understand. And it's like the ending is fucking crazy.
It's
like,
very crazy.
It like you'd never know, and most people will never know. And it's just like it really fucked me up when I started thinking about it that one time.
Oh man, Illuminus tells me to play Prey and then spoils Prey by saying you go to space. I'm not gonna play it now, dude. I already know you go to space.
Rip.
But Adder agrees. Adder is biased on Prey as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to finish the rest of your statement, Queen Anne. But I think that's why there's not like 30 different endings in Mass Effect 3 because of that strategy. I think there's another aspect to it too, Queen Anne. When you've made something for like a decade and it's like this big grand trilogy, you have to be very careful with how you end it. And no matter what they did, people were going to be unhappy. And I think the choice to redo the endings, I don't like that. I think they should have never caved. They should have just been like, it is what it is. Sorry you didn't like it. Thanks for playing our game. You know, like, because that game's about the journey. It's not about how it ended necessarily.
Wait, can you explain what you're talking about? Because I never played Mass Effect, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so the 3 endings were really contentious because it kind of didn't really depend how you did your whole playthrough. You sort of got these options based on like 2 or 3 key decisions. That's it.
Yeah.
And it didn't really carry anything from the first game. Whereas like the first game carried stuff into the second game that would affect your second game's playthrough in a more interesting way. And then they doubled down on that a little bit for the third game, but the endings were all just kind of like, there's only 3, that's all you get. And so people got really mad and petitioned the studio, and they were like, this is bullshit. How could you do this to us? And so they relented and they made it in a patch that updated the ending. And that bothered me. I didn't like that. I think they should have never given in. Definitely agreed that they went heavy on the hand-holding and spoon-feeding features through the first act. In response to your statement, Tony, I do think this suffers from what I unconsciously run into with most games made after a certain era where they're way too hand-holding and linear. Yeah, and Adder was agreeing with you on that.
Yeah, like as opposed to Dishonored, which like I don't think falls under that definition nearly as much comparatively.
Yeah.
So.
Adder says, in response to Queen Anne, this is definitely a thing at AAAs and will trickle into AA and Indie as much as AAAs move around. It was a conscious decision on MS2 to make the ending hits as hard as the intro, but we definitely also have to determine where we can cut corners if it means meeting needs without sacrificing story beats. Yep, it's all balance, and it's so hard. It's usually less than 10% make it to the final of a game campaign if it's over 10 hours. Yep, that's a crazy statistic, but it's very true. My perspective is the whole thing needs to be good because that is what makes good art art. That's what makes the art good art. But that's like not possible with a big team with a well, that's the problem, Queen Anne. When the project starts, that's what everyone wants. As you get to close, that's when like production and the people who control the schedule and the money are in the studio freaking out, being like, what can we cut? And it's because you have to, because you're tied to a time constraint. If you're making like real art, the only way to do that is at an indie. It really is. You know, AA's got some of that, But AA's got external funding. You have to do things that the people who gave you money want you to do. The only option otherwise is to take as long as it takes, and you might miss. You're taking a bigger risk, but yeah, it's the way it goes. If you hate the game's ending, there's fanfic for that. Yeah, I guess that's true, Anna. It's not realistic to have the ending always hit. I'm glad that MS2 is taking steps to have a good ending. You have to cut things in the time when it closes. I get that, yeah. And it's the worst fucking feeling being in the studio. Like, I think I've told you guys before, this isn't even a secret. There's like 60% of the shit, this is an arbitrary number, but like 60% of the shit that people were building inside the studio for Destiny is on the cutting room floor. It just is. You gotta like get all of these things together and keep refining it. It's like growing a garden, You gotta cut certain things out so that the other things can live well. It's very tricky, and it's really easy to make mistakes. Anna, what's got you spinning your eyeballs around looking at Tony's Steam games list? Are there too many in there?
I was just trying to think, like, we were talking about a game recently where we were looking at the achievements, and there was like an achievement for like beating the entire game, and the percentage of people that had gotten it was like 60-80% or something. And I just remember us talking about it and being like, that's got to be one of the only games that has that big of a completion rate that I've ever seen. I don't remember what it was, but
so
like Elden Ring or something, maybe.
Anna, I have 282 games in my Steam account, and my Steam account is 22 years old. And my top played games are in thousands of hours. So like Civ 7 is at 966 hours, Slay the Spire 700, Elden Ring 500 hours, Terraria 450, Risk of Rain 2 445, Total War Warhammer 2 430.
50% of people that have ever played Elden Ring on Steam have beat the Mimic tier. Like,
no shit.
That's fucking crazy to me. Like
that's really
like
crazy.
I don't know, 40 hours into the game probably or something like that. Like,
oh, you're saying that's a high number. I assumed it was going to be higher.
Oh no, like I would think, like, to Adder's point, people getting towards the end of a game, especially as long as Elden Ring, has got to be in like the single digits generally. But if I look at like basically the farthest achievement I have, which is maybe like the Fire Giant, like 45% of people have killed the Fire Giant on Steam. On like, this is one of the best selling games of all time too. So we're talking like a lot of fucking people have actually made it that far, and that just, I always think that's really shocking. Kind of like points to the quality of the game, I guess.
Yeah, AAA on YouTube is saying FromSoft is different.
It's true, but
it's not just FromSoft; it's Japanese game devs. They do not function the same way Western game devs do, from a business perspective. It's
like, even if we look at like,
different.
Let's look at like Dark Souls 3. I doubt the achievement rates are near what Elden Ring is looking at. Yeah, like later bosses in Dark Souls 3 probably, like, comparatively than the Fire Giant, are like in the 30s and stuff. And that 50% number is like Watch Dogs of Farron. It's like, I don't know, the first third of the game or something like that. Elden Ring is really special, just comparatively. You can look at any game and look at Silksong. I bet Silksong has like pretty low numbers on things. I don't have a lot of achievements on Silksong, but
it's kind of crazy that I have 500 hours in Elden Ring. I didn't even realize that I did. I've just played it so much.
What about Marathon? 35 contracts and 19% of people have done that. Only 71% of people have completed their first run that own Marathon on Steam even. It's interesting.
That feels bad.
That's crazy.
That feels really bad that 30% of the players have not completed a run.
I always find these numbers really interesting, and you guys can, of course, go look at them on your own Steam game sometime, but there is almost always an achievement for like starting the game up, and I feel like the developers kind of use it as an analytics indicator of like how many people actually even started the game that bought it. But it can just kind of give you a good indicator of like maybe how good the game is, even if you're like,
yes,
if you're looking at Elden Ring and you're seeing people like fighting that hard to get that far in a game that is like that difficult and that long, and that's got to be an indicator of something. So I don't know.
Adder was saying, Tony, you found the secret sauce on looking at games analytics as a competing developer. Yep.
Yep.
Very true. The achievements are usually the most accurate ways to get an idea of what matters to players in any specific genre. Yeah, absolutely. That's very real.
I mean, it's always, you know, whenever I get an achievement, I kind of look just to like kind of get an idea of like how many people have actually gotten it, and it really is a good indicator of like how popular is this game. Like, I don't know, I like 100%ed this game. I don't know how many people have actually done that, but you know, there's no like golden achievements in here, and I have all of them, which I think again, good indicator of this game is like there's no single digit achievement across the board 100% that nobody hasn't gotten. So. This game is amazing, by the way.
Which game?
Barry, Barry, Barry.
Oh, yeah. So I have 4 perfect games apparently on Steam. Elden Ring Night Rain, Destiny 2, Magic the Gathering, Duel of the Planeswalkers 2013, and of course Counter-Strike 2, because there's one achievement. Everyone has 100% on that. That's so weird that I got... Damn, I have a 7% Destiny achievement. Wishing for the best, complete Last Wish raid. Holy shit, only 7% of players completed that?
After it launched on Steam, yeah, I bet. That's probably the one I don't have, maybe, because I was looking, there's one Destiny achievement that I'm missing and will never get, but...
You never get this.
You'll never get this.
Even though Act 1's boss was notoriously complained about in Silk Song, Queen Anne was saying Silk Song had a 50% completion for the first act at one point. That's pretty crazy. I still haven't played Silk Song. I don't think I want to, as weird as that is.
I did not like Silk Song. I'd replay Hollow Knight before I'd play Silk Song, probably.
Let me look at my achievements.
Oh, I just needed a Triumph in Destiny. That's the only one I'm missing.
Okay, so most of my achievements that are rare are from Civ.
Yes, nice.
Civ 6. I have many 1% achievements in Civ 6, which is kind of crazy. And then I have a Darkest Dungeon one, which is MVP. 1% of players have this. What the fuck is this achievement? Where is MVP? Come on.
You can do like rarest achievements on your profile, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah. Mine are all in To the Top and VR Skater.
Nice, dude. Let's see what MVP is. It's going to be a red border. Hello?
Where are 201 you? Games, level 12, account for 20 years or more, perfect game, Destiny 2. Oof, good flex.
Okay, I've got Fresh Meat and MVP. Have a single hero deal death blows to 4 enemies in a single match. Damn, that's crazy that I did that. That was in 2020. And then Fresh Meat was play your first match in the Butcher's Circus. So, all right, whatever. I didn't like Silk Song either. I thought I was weird for it. Nah, I think you're okay, Queen Anne. I think Silk Song might have been a little overwrought. Like, they might have thought about it way too much.
It was super hyped and became like the best-selling game of all time when it came out. And then I feel like it didn't stay around for very long because I don't think a lot of people managed to get super far in it because it was really hard. Just like to the point where it was not really enjoyable. I don't know. I was going to the UK the day it came out and I was on a plane for like 20 hours in a week and I tried to play it for a lot of that and just never picked it up again after I got home.
Anna, are those your stats? 201 games, level 12, account 20 years or more, perfect game, Destiny 2? Because yeah, that's very similar to mine. But I have 300 games, like 282. My account is level 14. I've never done any of the leveling up my account, and it's 22 years of service. I want to know what my rare achievements are. Rarest achievements showcase. What the hell? How do I just look at my damn achievements? Why does Steam have such a shitty UX? Like that's something that should not have a shitty UX. Okay, I think I know how to look at it. We can go Elden Ring and then look at achievements. My achievement. Oh, that's by game. God damn it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I've got like 2,000 something achievements. Where's my shit here? Profile. I have 2,896 achievements on Steam. That's kind of too many. Like, how many of those are meaningful? They're doing the free DLC, so we might see Silksong come back. I had some major gripes and a lot of minor gripes with Silksong. Graham, you're a sweaty snowman? Are you sweating because of my 3,000 achievements on Steam or whatever? Yeah, I mean that's fair.
You're the sweaty snowman.
Yeah. Who's got a Steam account with a 6-digit fucking number? Because I definitely do.
6-digit number of what?
When you like add someone with your friend code or whatever, mine's only 6 digits.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, let's go, Graham. Graham the gamer with 3.5k achievements. Hell yeah, dude. That's so sweaty.
How did you? Oh, 2,274.
Yeah, good work, Graham. Putting in the fucking hours, dude. Grind set. Okay, Sony's gonna keep doing live service games, which is crazy. We talked about Dishonored Arcane being on the chopping block. Oh, we could talk about the D-brand thing. I don't think we talked about that on stream, did we?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys were tracking this D-brand thing. D-brand, how would you put that? They make like accessories for peripherals or something like that? Like, how would you describe what they make? They make like phone cases and
skins and like I think the joke they make is that they make expensive stickers.
Yeah, there you go. So they made one for the
one on my phone here. It's like shiny blue and red, kind of hard to see, but that's a D-brand skin.
Yeah, so they made a companion cube thing without talking to Valve about doing it, and they fucked up real bad, and they got bodied by Valve legally. So a lot of people wanted to buy this shit, and Valve was like, yo, you can't sell that. We're going to sue your ass off. And they were like, my bad, sorry. And I guess they have like a history of doing this, where they like kind of bully brands into being like, look how many of these we sold. It's good for you. Give us the rights. So they do the, ask for forgiveness, not permission thing. You heard about how Rust uses your Steam code to determine the size of your genitals in game? Bro, what? No, it doesn't. I swear if I have a smaller ID code, older Steam account, it literally makes your peen in game bigger. Dude, that's hilarious. I didn't even know there was a peen in the game.
Oh yeah, Rust, you're naked when you spawn.
That's so funny. I would hate to know the total time spent in games. Why, Graham? It's a fine hobby. Imagine if you thought about the total time spent in games as like the total time like smoking crack, At least you're not doing that, dude. You're playing video games. It's totally fine. I need to get my Moonlight device fired up downstairs so I can compete with these sweaty Steam achievement accounts. Adder, you don't even have to compete, bro. That's why I was saying that's too many achievements, because I'm like, I don't even fucking remember these. Like, a lot of them are gimmies, and like you were saying, they're used to track, analytics to track like player progress, to see like what percentage of your player base is actually like hitting a certain point in the game, and like maybe that's where they're washing out because they're not getting farther. You're indie deving now. Now it's market research and totally okay. Yes, that's very true. It's fine if it's good crack. I don't know, dude. I feel like crack is bad. AAA Battery says, I've always enjoyed those. Like in Space Marine 2, after 6 months or so, they release like players killed 500 million Tyranids or died 10 million times to chaos. Yeah, I agree. I like those like metadata stats that they throw out there for like multiplayer games and like community games where, yeah, I think that's very cool. What's up, Pineapple? All right, I may have accidentally exploded 3 people's bases and some people may have been mad at me. It's Minecraft, bro. Who cares? You should just wipe the whole server and be like, oops, haha. But yeah, I like those metadata statistics. Those are very cool. You have all the control. Dude, let it go to your head. Be a god drunk on power. Speaking of being a sweaty gamer, it's making me want to play Hell Let Loose again. Oh, sick, Graham. I've always been like kind of interested in it, but what turns me off is that Hell Let Loose is World War II, right? And there's just so many World War II shooters. I'm fatigued from it. Even though I haven't played one in probably like 15 years, it's just there was a time, you know, there was a time. Medal of Honor, Call of Duty. Oh boy, there was just so much. Rarest achievement is Expert Sniper. Nice, dude. Is that a 1%er? Let's see if I've got anything else here. Oh, what was this thing about the PSP, Tony? Sony shutting down
the shutting down the store for PS3 and Vita, which I just thought was interesting because I didn't know they still had the store for the PS Vita and PS3 up.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that
I would have thought that headline might be about the PS4 at this point, but you know.
Okay, the storefront will be shuttered. Sony said that it will ease the transition by allowing players to still download previously purchased content after the following closure dates for the foreseeable future. Mexico, Honduras, and Nicaragua PlayStation Store on PS3 will close starting in August. Additional LATAM and Middle Eastern countries, PlayStation Store on PS3 will close starting late 2026. In all other countries, PS3 and PS Vita will close July 2027. So go get your stuff. If you have things on those platforms, snatch them up. Make sure you've got them stored somewhere. Otherwise, you probably won't be able to get them again. Sony said it wanted to expand the PlayStation experience on newer devices that most of our users are playing on today, which required it to focus more resources on delivering the best gaming experiences on those platforms. I think it's totally valid. It's going to be too expensive for them to do it. This again ties to SKG, right? Like, if they have to support those platforms in perpetuity legally, they're just not going to do it. Like that's the thing that, I think, people behind the movement don't quite understand. Like, as a business, you're going to go, in the future, if we have to support this forever, we're not going to make this decision. We're going to make a different decision entirely, because then it doesn't open us up to financial risk. I mean, it's probably fair for them to shut them down by now, but it feels bad. Of course. I mean, like, okay, I'm going to get slightly philosophical. We are finite beings. Everyone is dying from the day that they're born. Loss is a part of the natural experience, and you can't have everything forever. Times change, people don't, but things that were once great will not be there anymore. That's why nostalgia is so powerful. And I would rather celebrate the full cycle of something. I think there's like beauty in the beginning and the end in a full experience. I think it's a really interesting thing as a human being that we get to like understand that as an abstract. Pineapple shifting gears says, tonight I'm going out to dinner than buying fireworks. Yippee. Hopefully we buy a lot and all of the stock of M1000s. Bro, be careful, Pineapple. Please. When I was a youth playing with fireworks, I used to hold a black cat in my hand. These are very small firecrackers. I would hold a black cat in my hand, light the fuse, and then throw it. There was one with a fuse that burned almost instantaneously. I barely let go of it. It went off probably this far from my hand, and it felt like all of my fingers got smashed with a hammer. I was okay, but it hurt really badly, and I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. That's crazy dangerous. So just don't do that, man. It's a silly choice one time, and then your life is forever different. I mean, imagine what it would be like with your electronics projects if you were missing fingers. It would be way harder. You would suddenly have a new challenge that you could never undo. So just be careful, dude. Okay, so they're shutting the stores down. Feels bad, guys, but that's life. Things come to an end eventually. So make sure you get all your shit. I've seen my cousins do it. I don't have a lighter of my own rather than the house lighter. I always use a punk to light fireworks. That's good. That's really good. That's smart, dude. If you guys are unfamiliar, that's like a burning stick that you can light a fuse with. Way safer because you get
like incense that doesn't smell like anything, basically.
Yeah. That's way safer. It's more than buying digital is so fleeting. In these days, we're forced to buy digital. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that, Queen Anne. Like, physical copies of media, like, should always exist, but I think it would be a value proposition to a customer to allow physical media. But like, like I think it should be a choice, not a compulsion by law, right? And I think that's better, because then a studio that's like, I want to spend the financial risk to do a disc pressing can choose to do that. I do think it's kind of silly that Rockstar's not doing it, because like at launch they should. Rockstar's got the money to take the risk, and they would win a ton of like credibility goodwill. And goodwill, devotion from the fan base to be like, thanks guys, you listened to us, we love you even more now. But if you're a small studio, of course doing a physical disc pressing is like probably financially prohibitive. You just can't do it.
Graham, we had a discussion about how like with the Steam game, and I didn't know this, but somebody was just saying like you could theoretically, for most games, it doesn't apply to every single one, but you could theoretically go into your program files where your Steam game gets installed, copy those files off, put them on a completely different machine, double click the exe, and like it should work. You shouldn't even need Steam installed in a lot of cases, and there's like generally not a lot of DRM on the Steam side, except for sometimes it's like the achievement system or something might be required in a way that prevents the game from running if it's not available or something, which is something that developers can kind of code around if they want to. And I just thought it was interesting because there's always the discussion about how like if you buy the game on GOG you actually own it, but if you buy it on Steam you don't, and it's like it's that's actually that different.
Yeah. So I actually saw a tweet earlier today before stream from a dev, a guy I worked with at Bungie, who's now a solo dev. He just makes his own games. He's just vibing. He's living off of his games that he makes. And he was talking about that conversation, literally this with DRM. And he's like, wait a minute, it's not required. He's like, guys, all of my games have no DRM. You buy it, you own it. That's the way I'm going to do it always. And yeah, I think that's good. That's smart.
And not that you should do this, but the post even points out there, like you can copy the files that are installed on your computer somewhere else and then go to Steam and refund the game, and the game will still run, because like a lot of the time there is no protection on the files that get installed on your computer after you have them. And Steam doesn't really care. It's generally the ones that make you go through the third-party launcher that is trying to prevent that. The other ones aren't doing shit.
Yo, what's up, Warka? How you doing, dude? I saw you launched Trail and Error. How'd it go, dude? Yeah, congrats. And how's it going? Yes, thank you, Omni. It's digital rights management. Marengo says, when I was a kid, my parents would give me a cigarette to light fireworks. Yo. Awesome, dude. Did you get to smoke the cigarette, Marengo? Someone did set up set P on it once though, and they were stupid and were barefoot. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about like fireworks or something? You really only lit the whole strips of firecrackers? That's way safer, because there's variance in those fuses. They're not super great on quality control. Yeah, exactly, Queen Anne. If we press discs for our game, we'd go out of business, so I get it. Yup. Wondering about that because the file, what is DRM to Epic Games? Thanks. Okay, cool. Yeah, he's squared away. Yep, going pretty good. Well, we just got a video from Smile7Y? Smiley? Smitty. Okay. That dropped, so I'm watching numbers now. Bro, don't look at the numbers. Just celebrate that you did a thing and come back in like a month. Unless it's like super critical for your business and you have to, just breathe for a minute. Like, you didn't look for the first 2 weeks? Good. Okay, good. Yeah, that shit is gonna make you lose your fucking mind, dude. They stepped on the punk. Oh, those fuses are so short. Yeah. AAA says, don't be stupid. That's a tough ask nowadays. I mean, I think it's always been a tough ask, but hey, we're barely self-aware monkeys. Like, that's the way it is. I'm aware that we are primates or apes, but it's funnier to say monkeys. I'm evaluating if I spend more money or time on this game or start another. So this week I'm watching numbers. That's a good way to approach it, dude. Yeah, that's smart. Cool. Okay, so let's see. We're talking about, what was this? Oh yeah, this was the companion cube failure, huge business mistake. Okay, so since we were talking about physical media, PlayStation Blog said physical disc production is ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. That feels bad, guys. Like, I don't want them to stop doing it entirely. I want, like, if they're not going to do an optical disc, do the cartridges like Nintendo does. Something like offering a physical media option needs to kind of be there if you're a huge AAA like industry leader. Like, just do it. Stop shaping these percentages, man. We got this shrinkflation bullshit with, like, you know, Egg McMuffins going up in price. It's dumb because of a single slice of cheese, you know? Like, I know you guys are probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? But it's, yeah, anyway. Shit makes me mad. What's up, Schematics? His video already has 176k views in the first 2 hours. Dude, that's sick, Warka. That's definitely going to have effect on sales, for sure. It's probably going to be way lower than you think, but I promise that will help drive some sales. Pineapple says 3-month subscriber, Twitch recap. No more physical disc for PS5 in 2027 or 8. Yep. What makes you feel old, Schematics? What's up, my drong? Yeah, that's a great question, Tony. I want to know too, Warka. Did you guys like reach out? It's I don't think it's a bad thing. If anyone gives you shit for that, they just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because like everyone does that. You talk to a content creator and say, hey, please, you know, say nice things about our stuff. We'll pay you for it. Or was it because if it's organic, dude, that's so juicy. If he just picked it up and was vibing, that's fucking sick. You have no idea how he found it. Oh, did you reach out?
You gotta love that shit.
Yeah, did you reach out? You should be like, hey, bud. Yeah, dude, you should just hit him up, man. Be like, hey, I'm the guy. Like, I want to ask you some questions if you got some time. It's highly likely he won't respond to you, just because, you know, bigger content creators just get inundated with messages all the time. But you could at least try, you know? Probably not a bad idea. You were in the live stream chat? Talk to him a bit there? Awesome. That's very cool. Schematic says consoles will no longer have disc support. I remember when it was a huge deal with PlayStation having Blu-ray. Yeah. No, I agree, Schematics. I mean, I do be feeling old all the time because a lot of the stuff that I do in life is like around people way younger than me. Like, you know, I rock climb at a climbing gym, and earlier this week I was talking to this dude about how to do this one, you know, boulder rock climbing. And I was like, okay, so we go here, we do that. And I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. I haven't tried this. And I was like, I'm not super confident I'll be able to get pretty far, but I did. I got really far, and he was all excited. And we were like just chatting. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm on like the team for this whole gym. And I was like, that's fucking sick. Like, it made me feel really proud that I was able to do some of those moves on a thing that he was struggling on or whatever. And I was like, I'm old, so, you know, I don't be trying to do like super crazy shit because recovery is really hard for me. And I was like, how old are you? He goes, 16. And I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I'm over here being 43, and this, like, you know, young buck is over here just teaching me shit about how to climb, and, you know, it was fun. But yeah, it definitely made me feel very old. I know my game has made it if Joe Bart is streaming it. Mecha Chameleon has a crazy run right now. Pineapple, don't try to chase that. I guess this is advice for all of you guys. Please don't try to chase it. If a part of your business plan is virality, it's not going to happen. Just don't do that. You just got to be like, that's sick, we hit it. I will caveat it with this. You can sort of try for virality, but those are paid advertisements by big streamers. So if you can get a big streamer to play your game and they say nice things and people like it and they see it's fun, then it can blow up. That's why Mecha Chameleon went huge. It's a friend slop. Those are really popular right now. It's a cheap game. Lots of big streamers can play with other big streamers. They can play with their communities. That's why it's popular. So they're, you know, hoping for that. But here's the problem. If you do that and your game doesn't go, what's the value to someone who's maybe not going to play with friends, right? Like, Mecha Chameleon's not a game that you can play by yourself. Like, it's you have to play with people, and it's a risk. You might make nothing on it, or you hit it big, you know? And if we're talking about gambling, which I hate doing, I would just rather try to make something really good. But to be fair, Pineapple, I think your pull my finger game is definitely in that realm of like Mecha Chameleon. And I think you're, you know, I mean this in not a derisive way whatsoever, just strictly what it is. I think the juvenile humor in that is probably going to resonate with people in your age group. So that's a fucking good idea, dude. Like, just finish that shit as fast as you can. Make it good. Make it hit all the bare minimums for what you need to do for your experience. And it might go, dude. It might like sail to the moon, and then you can just do whatever the fuck you want because you already be successful at a young age, and that'd be awesome. You can, but you'd always find yourself easy mode. You can actually play it solo. That's silly. I also have bots programmed so people can play alone and together. That's actually pretty cool, Pineapple. I like that. That's extra level of effort that you don't even need to do. I think that's very cool because like Buckshot Roulette is single player. Queen Anne says you can set yourself up so that your game has the potential to go viral, I guess. Yeah, exactly. But think about the things that you're not going to do because you're trying to do that. You know, you're like very much focused on one thing that is high risk. You know, it's like sports betting or anything else. I don't like it. There are choices you can make that will make it hard to go viral. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly, Queen Anne. You can't design around virality alone. And the reason I say that is because I know we've got some younger people in the audience and they want to do the things that we're doing, that we're all doing here in chat. And it's very tempting, especially in the social media age, to chase virality for one reason or another. You know, clout is very attractive to people. They love it. They love getting the likes. You know, I've talked about that many times about why that shit works and gets people to engage with it. But like, yeah, don't make that your main goal. Keep it in the pocket and be like, if this goes, you know, then it will be even better. Mecha Chameleon did make 1 million per day of work. I'd take that salary. Of course, dude. Of course. The soul crushing of 2 months to do it. Yeah, I feel you, Graham. That's not the kind of thing that like Tony or I want to make. We've talked about it for sure. We would rather make a smaller, you know, albeit a much longer dev cycle for us at this point, but we'd rather make a smaller game than something we're interested in, like Dread. So that's why we're doing that. Cuff Bust proves that you can't manufacture virality. Excellent point, Queen Anne.
Very good point.
Absolutely. That was like 2 Stars' whole thing. Choo Choo Charles, he did it was no clip where he said his goal was to go viral.
Yeah, it was manufactured from day one. Yeah.
Yep. He was like, how do I go viral? And he went after it, and then he tried the, you know, same formula again with Cuff Bust, and it was a bust. I wish I could, but I don't have it in me to make things that aren't interesting or I'm not passionate about. Exactly, Graham. Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree.
That was kind of how Dread started, was just kind of like, I wouldn't say it was a idea that was definitely like something we were like really jazzed about, but like we've turned it into something that we are.
Yep.
So
yeah, I think my initial pitch probably didn't get the whole team super excited. But where it went, everyone likes what we're doing now, which is very cool. I've done it for a little bit, so I'm aware your initial pitch is not ever really what you ship. So I was like, this will turn into something interesting. And I had a feeling about it. So I'm glad that, you know, we're making cool stuff. Pineapple's vibing with the music, Sweet Emotion. Yeah, he put all the info on his other YouTube channel. Yep, he also did a no clip and like an interview with CNN, all kinds of crazy shit. Like the dude literally did go viral, but then it just never happened again.
Also, Cuff Bust is just like compared to Spider Train. You fucking kidding me? Not even close. Like Spider Train was good, and it was at a really good time for it. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't even need to wait for shipping for the pitch to have changed. Yeah, that's real. It's very true. For me, bots are easy. Just select random finger index, look around randomly, and I have different personalities like fast, nervous, slow, confident, and normal. So I decided why not, because it gives players the ability to play alone. I also have a mobile build made for Android. Okay, that's cool, dude. Why Android? I mean, the reason I'm asking is because it's a completely different design space. Like, you got to think about keyboard and mouse player versus a player that is using a phone. And it might not play the same. It's highly likely that it won't. So that's why I asked the question. I would say focus on one of them first. Choo Choo Charles was single player, so he thought multiplayer would be like viral. Yeah. I think Tony just hit the nail on the head though by saying like Spider Train is very cool. Breaking out of prison as weird koala bear things, it didn't make any sense. I agree. Yeah, and Choo Choo Charles was a pretty mid game at the end of the day. To Tony's point, he got a lot of attention and he didn't keep the lightning in the bottle. He just didn't, because people bought it and they were like, that's it. And it kind of ruined his credibility. So he hit the lottery one time and then didn't have enough gas in the tank to keep it going. Omni is now giving advice on how to do mobile dev. That's actually really true. Yeah, Omni's right on that.
Guys, he's probably hitting a button in Unreal Engine that says put game on phone, and he has an Android phone. So I don't think it's deeper than that right now. He's not making a market decision about iOS. He's just playing it on his phone.
Yep. That's why I brought up the point about design, because I think the gameplay experience is fundamentally different on a mobile device than sitting at like a PC or playing on a game console. It's a completely different experience. You can definitely do it, but it has to have different controls. It has to have a different presentation. The gameplay segment of how long it takes to do a single session has to be designed in a very different way. So, and the reason I'm saying that is it doesn't have to, but if you want your game to be successful and be good, you have to consider those things. So if you just click the button and ship it, it's probably not worth the cost to publish on the platform. It's just probably not worth your time and effort. It was mid, yeah. It was a viral video at the end of the day. Yep. Yeah. Two-star hit it like with that very, very hard and then just missed and couldn't do it again. Side scroller shoot 'em is good on finger control game to make. Yep, Marengo's right on that. Laser Cobras type shit. Claude, ship a banger, please. Yeah, dude, that's how you do it, Mydrong. My dad had the idea and he wanted mobile and PC. I have everything set up. It wasn't hard. I was just looking around and clicking. Yeah, totally. That's, you just confirmed Tony's point of like you went through and went like publish Android build. I'm talking about like the craft of game design. That's the most important thing, Pineapple. So if you want to make your game good or compelling on mobile, you have to fundamentally approach it in a different way than playing it on like a PC or a console. I mean, just even between PC and console, they can be pretty different. Oh, Disco Pups, dude? Okay, so physical media is going away for Sony platforms in 27 and 28. That feels bad. It's times they are changing. What's this one? Oh, this was the Minecraft stuff I talked about at the beginning. Okay, cool. Let's see what else we got for VGC news today. Yeah, no worries, man. Yo, what is this? Okay, this is kind of crazy. The CEO of Professor Layton's studio, Level 5, says staff get big pay raises for correctly answering quizzes about the games they make. That's a very interesting motivator for getting people working on your game to play your game. So this may not seem obvious to you guys. Adder definitely knows. When you get onto a bigger team, there are an insane amount of people who just don't fucking play the game. They don't understand what they're making. They don't understand why they're making it. I mean, it was honestly a problem at Bungie. It was really a problem. I remember we had access to whitelisted dev environments for upcoming builds that weren't shipped yet to play on console at home. Everyone could play at home, so you didn't have to spend your workday when you were trying to get stuff done for your job, so that you know are getting promoted and like contributing to the project in a meaningful way. It's a lot to ask someone to also spend a chunk of their time during the day in the office playing the game. So we had to take like special breaks where we do a studio-wide playtest. The builds that I'm talking about that were whitelisted, a lot of people played on PlayStation, if they played at all for those new builds. I remember hopping on Xbox Live, and I was one of 3. I think throughout the studio, there were 10 whitelisted accounts for internal builds to play at home. And I became friends with other people at the studio because we were the Xbox guys. There were 3 of us, which was enough for a fire team in Destiny. But I was just like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Like, this, it's not like we're making, like, fuck, what's it called? Like My Little Kitty, or my little kitty, Hello Kitty, like Island Adventure or something, right? Where like a lot of the people are just like, I want to fucking play that. I'm just making it, and this is a job. I'm like, some of y'all have never worked at like a restaurant or for an insurance company, and it really fucking shows. Like, you have a cool ass job working on a cool ass product. Just fucking play the game, man. Just play it. It's a good game. Graham says, I think that's true in all of corporate. Most people don't see the bigger picture. Game dev is something unique in that they can usually use the product directly to understand it better. Yeah, exactly, Graham. And like, what? No, Omni. You stopped me in my tracks there. So the thing that drove me crazy, I remember like people were like, dude, where did you get inspiration for Whisper? Like people inside the studio, they were like, this is crazy. Like, where did you come from? Who are you? We don't know you. And I'm like, I did this, this, and this. And they're like, oh shit, you did all those things? Those are awesome. And they're like, what's like your process? And I'm like, play the game. I like it. I play a lot of the game, and I just made shit for someone like me who likes to play the game. That's the game I had in my head when you started the sentence. Destiny? Yeah, dude. I haven't played my game too much. Pineapple is fundamental. You have to. And you'll figure out. So the way I do it as a designer, it's not going to be fun. You're going to be like, this game sucks. I don't like it. Start thinking about what would make it fun. What would make you want to play it as a player who doesn't know that you made it. You're just a random person who's like, yo, this pull my finger thing seems kind of funny. I want to play it. And then you play it and you're like, this isn't fun. Why are you feeling that way? And what would you want as a player? That's the best way to go. I like that with one of the Deus Ex games, they made the devs play the original first before they started deving, and I feel like it showed. Yep, that it matters so much, Graham. It's crazy how much it matters. What are the core gameplay and stuff, and the main thing is fixing Steam multiplayer. Okay.
I think it's interesting how they did the thing with Breath of the Wild, where they made Breath of the Wild and Zelda 1's like NES engine, basically, and basically their theory was like, if it would be fun in the NES engine, it would be fun on the Switch, and it was obviously very successful. But they said they spent like a year building this like NES prototype of the game before they ever did anything else.
I think that's kind of like the craziest secret sauce in the industry. To make something good, play your game. Play your game and be honest about whether or not you enjoy it and what is working and what isn't. And when you do that, you'll figure it out, and then you'll have made a good game. You're going to have played it more than anyone else. You're going to know more about it than anyone else. And if you can still find a way to enjoy it, then that means someone who's totally unfamiliar with it, they have no idea what it was, where it started, they just see the finished product, they hop in there and play it, they're going to have a way better time than you did because you're very close to it and you can still enjoy it. So it's crazy. It's not even hard. Like, it's really not even hard. I remember being in the studio, when I would talk to someone, they'd be like, oh, I don't play the game. I'd be like, why? And they would be like, well, like, I'm too old. I don't have the reflexes that these kids have. And I'm like, I'm literally older than you. But they'd be like, I don't have the reflexes these kids have, so I can't play PvP. You know, I can't do raids. Raids are too hard. I can't play a game that takes this much time because, you know, I've got kids. I got a family, like blah, blah, blah. Dude, all you're doing is making excuses for why you can't do a better job, you know? And again, it's not like it was Hello Kitty Island Adventure. It's not like it was some slop game that, you know, an idle game on a mobile device. It was a good fucking game. And it, like, people then still wouldn't play it. And when I say that, it's not like it was 20% of the studio. 20% of the studio was playing. The rest just weren't. And I think it's very clear what that results in. The irony that the secret is to play the game. That's what I'm saying, Anna. It's like literally not even a fucking hard thing. Like, you just gotta fucking play it. And if you're like, this sucks, you have a conversation about why it sucks. You have a conversation about why it's not working. Put yourself in the shoes of a player who's going to enjoy it, and then just make good decisions from there. I mean, you're on the inside. You can do it, you know? I feel like I could have fun myself, though, on this game. Don't feel like you could have fun. Literally play it and be honest about whether or not you are having fun. Also, bots flipping you off isn't fun. It's funny, and that's funny one time. Just think about that. It's going to start to annoy you. It's not going to be cute or cheeky anymore after it happens the 10th, 15th, 130th time that you play. So my initial, you know, this is coming from the wisdom of my experience making games. I would be like, flip off is funny. What's the next thing that I could do to randomize that a little bit, to add more variety to it? And then you'll have these pleasant moments that pop up. You're probably going to need to make like 40 different random things and then time your pacing and feel out how that works. So the only way you're going to figure that out, Pineapple, is play the game, dude. I mean, Queen Anne, I think, is testament to this. Queen Anne has gone through that, making games and playing with her friends and like in person. And they're like, yo, this fucking sucks. I don't want to play it. And she's like, oh my God, I'm crashing out. Because like it hurts, but do that. You have to do that. Graham, are you... Graham says, I've barely played my game, but I've completed Visual Studio twice. Nice, dude.
Visual Studio.
I think he's saying like the IDE, like he's completed playing the I'm editing code game twice. The fake gamer thing to get credibility is so wild. I haven't seen that inside of the industry, Graham. Do you have any like war stories where you want to talk about it, or you're just talking about Anna's comment of we have CEOs fake game accounts to appease the players? I mean, Anna, I think the thing is they get into that role and they're like, I don't need to do this, and they're like, yes, you do. You better fucking start playing games because you're gonna get roasted and damage the brand. So that happens, and they got to do it. And that's the type of person that I keep saying, we do not fucking need these people in the industry. We just don't need them there because they're making bad choices. They're harming the health of it, making games nobody wants. I was talking about Anna's comment, but look outside the industry too. Of course. I mean, you're not wrong, Graham. A lot of these problems aren't unique to the game industry. However, the benefit to the process of creating the art in making a game is so clear. It's just crazy how much it matters. Whereas like if you work for an insurance company and you know it just doesn't matter. You know, people need insurance, at least in this country. You got to get it. It's compulsory. So it is what it is. It's not compulsory to get Pull My Finger. It's not compulsory to get Pull My Finger on mobile. You know, you have to make it attractive to someone. You got to make it fun. A PTSD trick? Oh shit! I'm sorry, Graham. You did work in insurance, didn't you? I'm sorry, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying this as someone who's done those jobs, right? Like a 9-to-5 is different. You know, a games job is not a 9-to-5. A games job is a passion project. Like it just is. If you're not approaching it with passion, you don't care about the thing you're making, you're not going to last. You just won't. And there's an army of people waiting to take your seat, regardless of your discipline. Speak for yourself. Pull my finger is the only thing I need in my life. There you go. You got one customer, Pineapple. Sushi's going to buy like 10 copies of Pull My Finger. Wasn't insurance directly, but close enough. Same. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you, bro. Speaking of insurance, I don't know what business thing to do, like LLC or SMT. I don't really want to give you advice. Sorry, you said something. SMT is something. I don't want to give you advice on that because there's many ways you can go. And if I give you the wrong advice, you could get into trouble. And like, I just don't want to do that. Do some research.
In the US, you're going to start as an LLC in 99% of situations and then change into something else if you want to make it more complicated than that. But you should talk to an accountant, usually, probably, about the best decision to make for your situation.
Yo, thank you for the follow, Ronan the Wise. Welcome.
Or you can just do what everybody else is going to do and like maybe just have a conversation with Claude about it and at least try to inform yourself.
Yeah, totally. New version of Endless U is hitting hard, by the way. Had a friend stream the game last night. She ended up playing it through twice unprompted. Dude, that's sick, Queen Anne. Congratulations. That's very awesome. Yeah, Sushi can give you advice because he's accepting the liability there. Sushi is a business lawyer, so, you know. Take everything he says as gospel, you know. I'm just kidding. I'm being glib. His background is exactly why Sushi shouldn't give you advice. Yo.
He's not doing that job anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean by liability. You can literally hold Sushi accountable if he's giving you advice. Oh, shit. But I mean, he's, you know, there's so many ways to do it. And your state, your city, the country you live in, all that shit matters for how you file a business license. So, yeah. You got to be careful with the finance background. Professional liability still exists even after you stop doing it. Exactly, Graham. That's why I'm being careful in general and just being like, this is not advice. Don't listen to me. Because then I'm at least protecting myself, our business, you know. For me, it's a $50 fee for an LLC. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty normal.
In Colorado too.
Yeah. And
then you need to, once you do that with your Secretary of State, you can go to the federal government and get an EIN number, and then you know you're an official business. You can buy things from wholesalers and stuff.
Got to keep up on your taxes. You got to
well, as soon as you do it, like you have tax liability and stuff, and that's probably the reason I would like be hesitant these days, and like a thing that I didn't really realize back in the day. But as long as you're gonna stay on top of it, then it's no big deal.
Pineapple, you're not gonna pay taxes if you don't make money. If you are spending money on your business, they're not gonna take money from you. They're not gonna say you need to pay this in taxes because it doesn't really work that way.
$600, I think, before it even
there's all laws around it. But the thing is that when you do make money, you have to pay taxes. The most important thing is filing. You have to file. Even if you don't make money, just be careful. Make sure you're filing. Make sure you're at least like keeping your license up to date. You got to refile your license every year. It all depends on the state you live in, like I was saying, and like where you file your license and all that. So.
All right, I'm steering us away from tax stream.
Yeah,
good. About something else.
Good, thank you.
This is not a tax stream. We're not talking about financial advice.
Yes, we are not. We're not experts on that. We can't do that. So I was talking about Professor Layton. The CEO was giving employees raises, which I thought was really interesting. So I wanted to see a little bit more about this. So this guy was basically saying, like, if you answer a quiz successfully about the content in our game, you'll get a raise. Brightside said his dad's name is Financial Advice. What do you call him for short? Professor Layton, Nino Kuni, and Inazuma 11 studio boss was explaining the publication to the publication that interviewed him that there were no plans to expand the size of the company beyond roughly 320 staff that it currently employs. To which he was asked if it is still conducting interviews to hire new employees. Generally, I only conduct the final interview, but this year I also participated in the first round of screening. The reason is that I wanted to redefine a criteria for what it means to select people. we don't truly prioritize things like a person's mindset over superficial technical skills, we will end up rejecting the very people we should be hiring right from the first interview. Fucking based. I'm applying this selection process to our current staff as well. I'm actually administering tests to see how well they understand the company's content. When asked for more information on this, Kino explained, we conduct something like a content knowledge test, and employees who score high receive a pay raise of about an undisclosed amount of money, regardless of their career level. We handle this fairly, even for new hires, and we're planning to raise this amount to an undisclosed amount in the future. Let's see. The room. Okay. While Famitsu's reporter doesn't print the figure he revealed to them, it reports that those in the room were stunned by the amount mentioned, causing a reporter to remark that such a figure would have a major impact on staff motivation. So it sounds like he's given people a huge fucking bonus for being good at their jobs. I love that. That's a really good way to incentivize your employees to make a better product and do a better job. I think that's awesome. Working on games has made me realize something deeply. When it comes to entrusting a task to someone, whether they have knowledge of that specific title is truly crucial. If their knowledge is insufficient, we'll need other team members to support them or review their work. On the other hand, if they do have that knowledge, they can take the lead and streamline the workflow. In other words, we now consider knowledge of and passion for the company's titles to be a form of skill, and that's also part of our value as a company. You seem surprised by the figure, but when viewed as a company cost, it means we're achieving efficiency gains that far exceed that amount. This guy is on a fucking genius level for how he's running his game studio. This is super cool to hear.
They're like treating people who like know their games and maybe just games in general as like another like skill, which is how it should be. But like,
yes,
yeah, no, I'm with you there. That's awesome.
It's fucking awesome. I love this. This is very cool to read about. So this studio, if you guys, want to support it or whatever, if you haven't heard of Professor Layton or Ni no Kuni, Ni no Kuni is an incredible game. I never played Professor Layton, but it seems pretty cool. I want to say I bought one of those games for my wife and she was enjoying it. She really liked the puzzles. It's like a cozy puzzle game. Anna, you might be interested in it. I don't know if you're familiar or if you've played Professor Layton's, but yeah, it sounds cool. What are you talking about, Brightside? I don't even want to read that out loud. I don't know what that means.
He said his dad's name was Financial Advice, and I said it was a shame they didn't name him Financial Advice Jr.
Oh yeah, I'm following.
And then somebody named their kid Max Patrick Heyman so that his initials would be MPH because they worked at a car dealership.
Ah, miles per hour. Nice. Pay myself and make myself quizzes now. So Pineapple, as the business leader, you should be paying yourself when you've made enough money to continue operating. You need to be careful about paying yourself, because if you take too much money out of the company, you're putting more money back into the company. Yeah, Queen Anne says next level shit. Played the first 3 Laytons. Hell yeah. What did you think, Queen Anne? I know they're very beloved. Gabe versus Game Quiz raised.
Professor Layton like a DS game? It seems like a DS game.
Yeah, they were DS games.
Okay.
If you guys ever need to replace Unreal Engine physics and collision with Jolt, let me know. Hell yeah, thanks, Mydrong. Appreciate that. Yeah, what is Jolt?
I'm with Graham. Can you like elaborate? Because I don't think I've actually heard of Jolt.
I only know Havoc, which is very, very expensive. It's crazy expensive.
I mean, everything on screen right now, if you're commenting on what's on screen right now, is on Niagara, which I don't... Does that even use the physics system? I don't even know.
Good, Pineapple. You shouldn't pay yourself for a while. I mean, we're not paying ourselves. It would not make any sense. First one, Curious Village, had a great overarching mystery. Okay. Tony, were you asking Queen Anne to explain like the gameplay?
Oh no, I was asking about the
Oh,
Jolt
you were asking
thing.
about Jolt.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Decima engine physics used by Horizon Forbidden West and Death Stranding and Godot, and it's something that you can implement in Unreal. You assume if my drawing is using it, it's lightweight. Okay, interesting.
Are you like throwing shots at him, Graham, or are you just saying like he's good at optimizing? Okay, so that was Layton and that, which I thought was cool.
Full-fledged, much more performant than Chaos.
Okay, who's Shuhei Yoshida? Former SAE president has been sharing his hands-on impressions of Valve's new hardware. Am I going back to PS4 days? Shuhei Yoshida says, Steam Machine is hard to recommend to people at its current price point.
Yep.
I fucking like this Shuhei guy. This was the guy who was in charge of Worldwide Studios at SIE, who was like, hey, dude, we should not be doing, live service games. And they fucking fired him for it. That's crazy. And this is the guy who was in charge of Worldwide Studios between 2008 and 2019. And they replaced him with Jim Ryan or something like that. Or Jim Ryan fired him. One of those two things. Yeah, he's former Sony. He's not there anymore. Did you see my drawing said entirely multi-threaded and deterministic, so good for replication.
Okay, interesting.
I'm going to be right back.
I found this guy who's got like 8 videos on implementing it in Unreal. I was trying to get just an idea of like, what does that actually mean to implement a physics system into Unreal? I can't even I don't know. It's definitely not something I've ever done before. I think just walking through the code base. So is this like a, compile your own Unreal source type thing, I would imagine? Kind of is looking like it based on what I'm seeing here, but maybe not. Let's see. Using it as a plugin, turning off all UE collision for me, you don't build from source. Okay. Well, that's less scary and annoying than the alternative, so that's interesting. Yeah, I wonder, this could be something that might be useful for Hyperskate even for us. I don't know. I hadn't really heard about this though. Peace out, Queen Anne. Have a good one. Thanks for coming through. Patterson plugin is away. Graham says, I didn't even know you could turn off all UE collision and physics without source. All of my entities actually have collision now. It wasn't possible due to how long it would take to move to a component with UE collision on. Okay, interesting. Huh. Yeah, I've been clicking through here just trying to get an idea of what is collision and is the simulate physics button in the editor, is that different physics than this now, or are they overridden with this new physics? Custom components.
Yeah, take it easy, Queen Anne.
We should probably wrap up here in a minute too, but
yeah,
I thought the Jolt thing was kind of interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, my drong. Love that shit.
I just want to see a better example of how it actually works. It is used by Death Stranding 2. That is true. It is used in Godot. It was used in Horizon Forbidden West. I don't really recognize too many other things, but yeah, there's an Unreal Jolt plugin. Okay.
Pineapple, don't focus on make millions. Focus on make fun. The millions follow the fun.
Use actor tag and tag dynamic objects with Jolt dynamic. Make sure that the object is movable, and static objects with Jolt static. So you just tag them and it takes care of it for you.
Yeah, Anna, me too. I think Yoshida did a great job at Sony, and he's been pretty outspoken lately, which I appreciate. He's like, they're idiots. They're fucking it up.
Place your entire ALS character movement component. I mean, that sounds like a little more than physics, but interesting.
He said it was only positives other than just having to fix up all my old hit result related logic.
All my entities have better movement, and it's 10 times less confusing. Oh yeah, it would fuck traces in IK. Yep. I don't know. I guess depending on the type of game you're making, could be helpful.
Yo, Pineapple, happy 4th, happy 250th. God bless America. Be safe.
We should also wrap her up here. So
yeah, exactly. We should. Thank you guys. Really good conversation. Warka, I hope you're doing well still. I don't know if you're still around, but yeah, thank you for coming through. Brightside, Pineapple, Anna, Queen Anne, Mydrong, Graham. You guys are all fucking awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, everyone have a safe weekend. Have fun. Don't blow your fingers off with firecrackers. Adder, thanks for hanging out. Adder, we're probably going to do some racing tonight if you want to hop in and do some grip. I think we're going to do probably Spa, Barcelona, some other things. So,
oh yeah, Adder, there's a channel in the community server that you're added to that people who aren't racing can't see. So you might see us hanging out in there if you ever want to come through.
Pineapple, I hope it goes well, man. Honestly, like legitimately, I like seeing the homies do well. It's Drift Night. Oh yeah, no worries, dude.
I'm gonna go get an H shifter from our buddy this weekend, so you're gonna show me how to drift.
I mean, you can drift without an H pattern shifter, I think, but it's probably.
I want to like do this thing though, you know, like getting the fucking WRX and fucking.
you need the handbrake.
I'll get a handbrake.
And all-wheel drive.
I might be able to like rent a handbrake or something. I was looking, so.
Yeah, I agree, Adder. You do need the clutch. Like you need 3 pedals. You need to be able to dump some revs and stuff.
Yeah, and he was saying handbrake key on the keyboard too.
Okay, interesting. All right, yeah, let's wrap it up. Everyone be safe. Have a great weekend. We'll catch y'all next week.
Anybody do a raid real quick? No, there's not. Okay, goodbye everybody.
All right, later y'all.